All right, so today, good morning, everybody. We'll call to order our NAPRD meeting. So I want everyone to join me in welcoming our special guest, Mari Holden. I know most of you already know her and accomplishments in our sport, including her 6 national championships in the time trial and road race, her silver medal at the 2000 Sydney Olympics, and her gold medal at the Plouay France World Championships. But she's here today to talk and discuss her new role in our governing body. She's now the community director at USA Cycling, in charge of the Let's Ride program and the Olympic development camps, formerly known as Talent ID camps. Mari tells me she got her first race bike when she was 12, so she could ride with her school club. Her Olympic dreams as a child were sparked by the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. So without further ado, I turn the floor over to Mari, and let's give you the screen share. I think you should be able to do you have a screen share button or not? Do I need to make you a host?
Oh God, yeah, I do. Okay, this is my first time doing a screen share, so you're gonna have to bear with me just a little bit here for a second.
Mari, I should have made you do it Friday to get practice.
I know what I was stressing about, and okay, let's see here.
We've all been there, Mari, so don't worry.
All right.
And some of us haven't even gotten there yet, trust me.
Now I'm like going the wrong way here. Anyways, I'm excited to be here and get to talk to you all about the Let's Ride program. Like Rob said, I started cycling, started cycling on a real road bike when I was 12 years old and got it through my school program. We had a club. So I know that getting kids on bikes early is important, and it basically sparked my whole life, career, etc. So are
you sharing the screen yet, Mari? Do you see it?
Are you seeing it? Oh my God. How do I get?
So the green bottom at the bottom, it says screen share. Select that.
I know, but I'm seeing it here.
And then double click your presentation on the options.
Okay, hold on. I'm seeing it is, I'm not seeing the Zoom here anymore. So how do I
Well, we can go to plan B if you'd like. I can pull it up for you if you want me to.
Hey, Mari, if it's the one you used Friday, I've got it still.
I have it. I have it.
No, it's a different one, Chuck. I changed
Okay.
it. But what I'm having a problem with is I can't get out of just seeing my screen with the presentation on it. I'm not seeing the Zoom to share the screen. How do I do that?
I tell you what. Now we're sharing. We're sharing your screen.
We got it.
So go ahead.
Okay, so wait, you have
tell
it
me
now?
when to move forward.
Okay, so we're on the screen that says Let's Ride Camps, right? Okay, so I'm in charge of the Let's Ride Camps, and this is basically USA Cycling's initiative to get more kids on bikes. So let's go to the first page. We set out with getting together our goals for the Let's Ride program, and basically this is an overview of what we want to accomplish with this program at USA Cycling. We want to basically support our position of sharing knowledge and creating lifelong cyclists. And like I said, I got involved as a 12-year-old with my first bike at my school club. So I recognize how important it is to get kids on bikes early and create, help them shape their goals and lifelong dreams. We want to position USA Cycling as the youth development leader, convener, and agenda setter for cycling. We want to position Let's Ride as a direct pipeline to support our USA Cycling DEI priority, which is really big for us right now in getting out there in the community and getting everyone on bikes. The goal for us is to reach 20,000 youth in 2021, and Rob has even said 25,000 youth in 2021. So we have big goals, and it's going to take the work of all of us to accomplish this. We want to strengthen our position as a collaborator with a nationwide network of youth cycling nonprofits, and expose and inspire Let's Ride participants with USA Cycling Racing. We believe it's important for kids to actually see the racing, to see their heroes out there, and get dreams of what they can possibly accomplish. And another goal of ours is to leave 25% of the bikes in our participating communities. Okay, next slide. Let's see here, sorry about this. Let me see here. Okay, so our overview and strategies. Let's Ride, it is basically a bicycle skills safety program to introduce elementary school age kids, primarily ages 7 to 11, to riding bikes and actively promote healthy lifestyle and sport. And it was really important for us to make this program fun and free for all kids. We want to partner with organizations and institutions that offer key criteria of existing infrastructure, commitment to youth outreach, free programming, and culture of collaboration. We're working right now with, these are some of the programs we're working with, are Outride, Free Bikes for Kids, San Diego Bicycle Coalition, T-Town, Gopher Bikes, and the Youth Cycling, YCC, sorry. And a big goal of ours is to target underserved and diverse communities. And we want to align with youth development nonprofits and faith-based organizations who work with underserved populations to combine resources and leverage efforts for maximum impact. So groups that aren't necessarily only involved with cycling clubs, but also are trying to help take care of kids in unserved populations, which are like Mile High 360 in Denver, El Grupo, Kids on Bikes here in Colorado Springs, amongst others. We want to foster a year-round community of youth development to enable social and emotional learning, because we feel like it's important not just to go in and do a Let's Ride camp, but to figure out where we're going to connect these kids into existing organizations where they can continue to ride their bikes and be safe and find out more about what's out there for them in cycling. Another thing that we're looking at is in areas that have strong winter sports to maybe be a part of their summer programming. So we are looking at organizations that have scholarship programs for kids who might not necessarily be able to ski and are learning how to ski, and then help them with their keeping them engaged in the summertime. So that would be groups like the Aspen Valley Ski Club and any other kind of winter sports organizations. Okay, next slide. So our event strategies. We want to identify cycling events that have high registrations so that we can leverage the event for our Let's Ride enrollment and programs. It's really important for us to be able to get it in front of as many kids as possible and hopefully have them out there seeing the bike races and getting to see what they can hopefully accomplish one day. And so that means we want to work with the event promoters to include Let's Ride programming experience as a part of the youth development component in their races. And we want to work with promoters to build community support and excitement for the event. We want to identify local clubs and youth programs to build relationships for ongoing engagement post Let's Ride camp experience. So that would mean working with the promoters to get out there in community and find different groups that we can partner with in order to make our Let's Ride event successful and have those kids move on into the next level. Okay, next slide. So as far as the race promoter opportunities, we want to make it easy for the race promoters. We would like to make it so that you can host a Let's Ride camp at an event or in the lead up to the event as a part of the community outreach. We want to make it free for participants, and USA Cycling will provide the camp materials, the coaches, the permitting, and the insurance. And we're working on a structure where we'll be able to lay out a little more clearly what we can give to the events at certain levels. So say you have 1,000 people attending the event, we'll be able to do X. If you have 5,000 people, we can, do some more as far as staffing from USA Cycling and material that we can send out to help with. So right now, since we're working on that, the best way to move forward is if you're interested in having us do a camp, is you would reach out to me at USA Cycling and we can discuss what you're interested in and how we can help you. And we're definitely trying to figure out how to get these camps at as many places as we can and support your events. Okay, next slide. Some of the things that we're going to do in order to make this successful and make it successful for you and for us is we're going to highlight Let's Ride on the USA Cycling website. And we're working hard with IT to enable easy access, navigation to inform, activate, and register to host a camp. And also to let people know where these camps are. we're going to do social media activation, including reposts of the Let's Ride on Instagram and Facebook. And that'll be by USA Cycling, our network of coaches, and our USA Cycling influencers. Initially, when we started this program with Let's Ride, it was going to be that the coaches are going to be receiving CEU credits for putting on a camp, which gives them, reason to want to do these camps. But we recognize that at the events, we're going to need more than just having, a couple coaches there with the Let's Ride camp. So we're working on that, and we need to know how many people you're going to be having at the camp so that we can send enough people to make sure that we're making it look professional for you. Oops, I'm not done with that one yet. That's okay. I'm just starting to babble. I'm sorry. We want to leverage social media messaging with partner youth nonprofits to expand visibility and participation. So we definitely want to get out there in the community, let them know what we're doing, and then highlight that in our Facebook message, our social media messaging, and have that draw more attention to your event, and also what USA Cycling is doing in the community to help getting more kids on bikes. And we are also working to activate a network of USA Cycling influencers and alumni. So having athletes in different areas be able to help with these promotions of your events. Okay, now we can move on. And basically, the vision is simple. We want to have USA Cycling in all neighborhoods and a diverse US national team at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. So that's a quick overview.
Great. Thank you very much, Mara. Before we get into Q&A, we have a little challenge here this morning for everyone to get everyone's minds working. So I have another screen share. This is something that I found in my collection. So we have a challenge this morning. So if anyone the first person to name all 4 signatures on this T-Mobile jersey from 2005, Mari has agreed to provide a USA Cycling face covering. So I'll send this off to everybody so you can take a closer look. So with that, Mari, I'd like to, any questions for Mari? Shy.
Yes.
Go ahead, Marco. Did a question, Jennifer?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask a question. So, if we have a Let's Ride as part of our event, what do you know what the programming looks like from USA Cycling standpoint?
Well, so right now we have a curriculum made up. Basically, a Let's Ride camp is a 1.5 to 2 hour camp experience for the kids. It's a basic bicycle safety program, similar to a lot of other bike rodeos that are out there. The unique thing is that we're going to have USA Cycling coaches that are going to be staffing these events, and then depending on the amount of people we intend to or think that we're going to have there, we'll be able to possibly have more USA Cycling support from headquarters. Does that? Okay. I'll be able to send. So the curriculum is done. We just need to get it looking nicer to send out to you. And my hope is that it's prepared this week and that I could send a copy of it out to you if you're interested in seeing it.
Sure.
Bruce, go ahead.
Hey, Mari, this is exciting. I'm looking forward to this. So Bruce Dunn, Joe Martin Stage Race. Since we moved Joe Martin to late August, we're probably going to do once a month crit series in Northwest Arkansas. And Scotty and Ernie have moved up here, and so they're going to be helping with that. But my thought is we're going to have 4 of those, and then potentially, obviously, Joe Martin's is a stage race. I don't know what the win is here, but maybe using that series along with a culmination of Joe Martin stage race and the promotion of the initiative is the bigger picture, right? I mean, it's not just.
Yeah. I mean,
so just think about that.
I love that idea because I think that one of the things we really want to do is have impact in the communities that we're visiting. I mean, I would hate to just have a Let's Ride camp and then have it, not go further than that. And, having Scotty there to, head up some of these Let's Ride camps at these 4 events that you have leading up to it would be a great opportunity for community engagement.
Okay.
And actually having real impact, which is one of the things that I really want to make sure is happening. And because you would be doing more events, USA Cycling would be able to send more assets to make it look, special. Right now we're working on our logo, and we're going to have a mascot. We're going to have a lot of things to really make it special if the events get bigger, but we obviously can't do that if it's just one coach with 10 athletes. If it's going to be a commitment to more events, that's something that we can look at, maybe having the table skirts or a tent or something, depending on the amount of events that you plan to do. So we should definitely follow up on talking about it. And I think it sounds like a great idea to get more community involvement.
Yeah. And the other little thing, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to do it, is in the town, we're going to have it, all the NICA kids, we're going to make it free for them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, because we have the Let's Ride program, which is very young, but it's really good to be able, for them to be able to see that there's the next step could be NICA, maybe there are some clubs and getting them more involvement, besides just a safety course. I mean, we want kids safe on bikes, but it's nice for them to know what the next step is.
Cool. We'll talk. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Marco, and then Bill. Marco, you're on mute. You're still on mute, Marco. There we go.
Okay, thanks. Now I'm off mute. Thank you. Sorry. Hi, Mari. Mark Colbert, Intelligentsia Cup, Chicago. I have two-part question. First is, we have a bunch of criteriums, and we frequently have either kids races or family rides, each, at each separate venue. Are these appropriate? Can you combine a Let's Ride camp, on the day of such an activity?
I think you probably could on a day that has the kids event, and I think it depends on the adult event, kind of what the setup is. And that's something we could talk about, because the kids would need to come and then it's a couple-hour course. But I see it as something that they could do maybe during registrations or in the lead up to some of those events. But yeah, I think turning the Let's Ride camp into part of a family day type experience would be a great way to move these camps forward and get in front of more kids. Yeah, so we should definitely talk about it. And especially in Chicago, that's a great area that we're going to definitely be looking to target with some of the underserved communities there. And if there's a way to tie into that and then get those kids to come out and see the Intelligentsia Cup would be amazing.
My other question is a dreaded insurance question. When we run our kids races, the cutoff for the insurance coverage is 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And for your program, I assume you're targeting kids older than that to some extent. So is USA Cycling's liability insurance going to cover that higher age group?
It is for the Let's Ride camp. I think that question is for Chuck, would probably have a better idea of with the race component for your race component, but for our Let's Ride camp, they're going to be covered.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah, Chuck, if I'm not mistaken, for the race, for the kids race, you'd have to charge, or you have to have some insurance coverage for those that older than 9, correct?
Yeah, the 9 is where you quit being a youth and start becoming a racer. And Mara, you may want to address the age. I think there's a perception that this is for older kids. It's actually more for probably the same age group that a lot of your kids races are for.
Yeah, the age group that we're targeting is 7 to 11 years old, elementary school.
Yeah.
And it's a part of our junior, giving away the memberships to junior kids too.
All right,
So the idea is that they'll come out of the Let's Ride camp with a USA Cycling membership.
And so next, Bill, you had a question? And then
Yeah, Mari, Bill Koch, we obviously met with Tour of America's Dairyland. If we do engage NICA kids to, my vision, I think Rob's too, is, and sounds like Bruce's, were for some of those NICA kids to help out, because I don't know about their states, but in Wisconsin, the ages are 12 through 18 is what our age, middle school and high school kids. So they wouldn't be in the camp per se, but as far as assisting or mentoring the coaches that are there. How would that be handled from an insurance perspective to engage those kids? You've thought about that at all?
You know, we've talked a little bit about it. That's something I need to talk with Chuck more about, because I mean, I know that I wouldn't necessarily say mentoring, but helping kind of is a big piece of what we want to, you know, we want people to understand that it's important to give back and to, you know, to teach people who are coming up. And so it would be a nice skill, or not skill, but a nice life lesson to learn for those kids to try and help kids who are younger. But I don't know the exact implications for the insurance, and that's something that I'll work on with Chuck, because I think it's important and could be a nice life lesson for them, but I'm not sure exactly how that would work.
So I think
yeah,
one thing we might be able to talk about too is that under NICA, they have these hours that they have to log called Team Trail Corps and Teen Trail Corps. So they can do these off season. So even if you're not officially started, like our series is in June, the official season doesn't start till the 1st of July. But in order to log hours, community service type things are things that they can do off season and get credit for, and they're covered by insurance also. So, you know, one way we might be able to engage them to make it easier on USA Cycling not having to cover them is they would be covered, I think, I'm not positive, but I think by NICA under their TTC hours.
Bill, I don't think it's an issue to do if they're volunteering to cover them as volunteers under the policy. I mean, as you know, but there is there's a line somewhere we got to find in regards to who's running the camp and who's volunteering for it, if that makes sense. I mean, I think we all agree we want someone with some responsibility for a variety of reasons to run it. I did see basically, Marco, we own these, we can insure them, they'll be covered under our policy. So these will be covered and participants will be covered under our policy. That's done and confirmed. So no worries about that. I'm pretty confident, well, almost 100% confident we can cover NICA kids under our volunteer policy, Bill, just as we do with, you know, with your race. Mari's, you know, figuring out, we're starting, I think, Mari, with coaches on this because they're pretty robustly covered anyway. But where that line lies of who we are all comfortable with running these. You know, I'm not super comfortable with a 13-year-old running a Let's Ride camp for kids, I don't think. But volunteering and helping be great. So
right. Along to coach, just one last question. Are you hoping to solicit local certified coaches to help out, or would they be traveling with the program, or maybe both?
We're going to be having coaches that are local, close to the event, or regional. But then if the event is big enough, and we're trying to figure out where that line is, then we would maybe be able to have someone who's from USA Cycling to come and oversee that. But that's what I'm working on right now with Jim Miller with athletics, because we recognize that the larger the event, you can't just ask a volunteer coach to be out there trying to take care of it. You know, it's different than it would be with just having a coach doing a camp in a parking lot or something with 10 kids. So we recognize that's a difference, and you know, I'm looking for your input too. But right now we're trying to figure out where those levels are that we can start adding additional support.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, next, Chris.
Yeah, Mari, this sounds really cool. Can you talk a little bit more, just, I know it's a work in progress, but like the process that you guys are working through to become one of the leaders for these camps, and like, you know, from a team perspective, how we could help and engage, you know, with some of our athletes?
Yeah, well, so right now it started as an idea that the coaches would get, like USA Cycling coaches would get continuing education credit for doing camps in their communities and engaging more kids. That was the basic idea. But when you start talking about numbers like trying to reach 20,000 kids, we quickly recognize that you have to also work with our events and our promoters to try and get this in front of more kids. And I think it's a win-win situation, because if we can go into the communities prior to the events and start having these camps, it it gets excitement going for your races. And it also, helps our mission of trying to reach as many kids as possible. So we're looking to actively promote your events and the things you're doing in your communities and our initiative with getting more kids on bikes. And that also includes trying to connect and elevate the discussion around our clubs and, letting people know exactly what USA Cycling has to offer and all the avenues for these kids to get involved more. And as far as with your athletes and what can they do to help, I think the thing that I'll next be working on is trying to find ambassadors for our programs in different areas. So if there's a race that's, a hometown race or something that you think might make sense to be involved with, it would be great to have one of your higher profile athletes, putting out social media about it, or even possibly showing up at the event. But I'm not just looking at athletes who are racing right now. I'm also wanting to engage our alumni community so that people who've gone through USA Cycling's program or been to the Olympics or Worlds or things like that can get out there and interact with the kids too. I think it's really important for kids to be able to see their heroes out there, and that's it's going to be a really special way for them to be involved, and then also hopefully help ignite these kids' dreams about what they can do in sport.
Great, thank you. Jennifer, you had a question?
Yes. Jennifer Savar with the Indy Crit in Indianapolis, Indiana. So the juniors and the kids component is a really huge part of what we do on the day of the Indy Crit. We have the Mass Ave Crit, which is more of an adult night life type of crit race, and then the Indy Crit, which is very family friendly. So this really aligns with what we're doing. Question about, you mentioned that the coaches would be putting these on. Is there a directory of coaches by state? Because we have a lot of relationships with, local people. And sometimes it helps, I think, when promoters reach out to advocate for this program. Do you have like a directory that we could?
We can get that information to you. I'm not sure how easy it is to search on the website right now, but I can search for specific areas and let you know the coaches in your, vicinity. But I think it'll be a really great way to get the coaches involved, and I'm sure there are a lot of coaches in that area.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep.
Just sort of a follow-up to that, one more question, and then we'll one more time, or if anyone's got anything else, otherwise we'll close this topic. But have you reached out, or are you considering reaching out to the local associations, people along those lines, to kind of get them involved in the events as well? And what's your vision for that?
With the local associations? Yeah, I think that I'm going to be reaching out to everybody. I'm reaching out to coaches. I'm reaching out to race promoters. I'm going to be reaching out to the LAs. I want to talk to everyone about Let's Ride, because I think it's going to be really important in USA Cycling's mission moving forward. Is the more kids we can get on the bikes, the better. And I think we all need to collaborate and work together and really just kind of tackle it from all sides. And I think if we do that, we're going to be successful, because cycling's a great sport. And as long as we aren't trying to each just work in our own little area, we can really do great things. And I think get more kids out there. And I really believe in it. And that's why I'm doing this, is just because I'm passionate. So yes, I'm talking to everybody and anybody who will listen.
Yeah, you talked about getting NICA involved to kind of show some pathway, and I think that's going to be wonderful. And I think that if the local associations can bring in some local clubs, that gives them these young athletes opportunities to find out where else they can go to get involved in the sport.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about our new partnership with NICA, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can have, a return to racing this year that's really successful, and that we can actually reach our 20,000 kids. But in order to do that, we're all going to have to be working together. But I definitely feel like we got to help put cycling out there and make sure that kids have role models and dreams to aspire to. And a big part of that is them seeing the racing that you all are putting on and that the teams are out there promoting. I think we're a big part of making sure that what people see is something great, and us all working together on it.
Great. All right, I really appreciate you. Any more questions from anyone else? I hear someone popping up.
Well, I put my note in the chat, but Eric Reiser from Redlands Classic. Hello, Mari.
Hi.
So obviously Sean Wilson's and his wife Rachel are in my area, and we just heard from Sean. This group just heard from Sean last week or last meeting about cycling youth, and so I'm sure we'll be coordinating with Sean and trying to arrange something beforehand for the Redlands Classic. Of course, we already have a very active school visit program, get the athletes out there in front of the public. So I'm sure we can figure out some way to try to integrate some of this into that too. So.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, that's definitely, I've been talking to Sean a lot about it, and I think it's a perfect area for us to try and get into, and also possibly reaching out more into Riverside and stuff and doing a little bit of outreach there in addition.
Yeah, San Bernardino.
Yeah, San Bernardino.
Also,
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, we really appreciate what you're doing with the schools out there. It's amazing. Always has been.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Eric. Anyone else? Final offer? If not, we kind of summarize here, I want to share one more screen. Okay, where is it?
I just want to put it out there again that it's mholden@usacycling.org, that you can reach out to me with any suggestions, or if you're interested in having a Let's Ride camp, either involved with your event or into the, oh my God.
Here we go. This is 1998.
That was a while
Bike
ago.
Racing Nation covered. So this was back when USA Cycling had a magazine that would send out to all the members, 100 pages of great content, including our cover girl, Mari Holden. So
Lester started racing when she was 10.
I haven't seen that picture in a long time. Thank you.
another shout out to Redlands here. Redlands rips open the new season. Right?
Yeah, I always loved that. Oh God.
All right. So yeah, we'll share your presentation, Mari, along with these other files that we shared today. So your contact information, so if people have follow-up questions, want to reach out to you directly, they'll be able to do that. And as you develop your program and get more details, and kind of bring things together, you're more than welcome to come on anytime to update us. I know we will have more questions as we proceed and get into our season. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.